This is the hardest one. It's the one that holds back most people.
Hello and welcome back to our YouTube channel. Hello, I'm Melissa.
And I'm Ryan.
Last month we moved from Phoenix, Arizona to Franklin, Tennessee, and since then we've been having a lot of friends reach out to us say they want to make a move, and we decided to share our 10 things to consider before moving cross country.
Yeah, you hear that, friends? It's time to come out.
Yeah, come on. So first thing to consider is remember it's not permanent. When we were thinking about moving, we were a little bit nervous. We never had visited the state before, and we weren't sure if we were gonna like it, but Ryan reminded me that if we don't like it, we give it a year and we can move back, no harm, no foul. It was a good adventure.
Yeah, or you could also think of it as a win, stepping out of your comfort zone and just making something different happen. And now that we've been here for a month, I think there's really something magical and fun about trying to remap the area you live in your brain. It's something exciting about it. I guess we'll see in a few months.
Yeah, we'll keep you updated.
Or we may move back, who knows? No, we're not moving back, sorry guys.
I was just gonna say, so far, we have no plans on moving back. We love Arizona, but
we love Tennessee more. So the next thing that you want to consider is what's the difference in cost of living between where you currently are and then where you want to be. So how much more is rent in the target area versus where you are, or mortgage, gas, groceries, your typical day-to-day expenses. Is it more or less?
Third thing to consider is how you're gonna get your stuff from one state to the next. There's a few options. You can do the pods, you can get a U-Haul or a Penske, or you can sell all of your stuff and just start brand new in your new location.
So we learned through this whole process that there's a peak moving season.
So if you're moving in the summer, it's way more expensive than moving in the winter. Our friends moved to Tennessee in like the early spring, end of winter time, and we moved in June. So our move was way more expensive because we were in that peak season.
Moral of the story is move in the winter if you can.
If you can,
well,
yeah.
Maybe that's not a good idea though, because it's usually snowier in most places.
There's never really a good time to move.
Yeah.
It always there's always something.
So the fourth thing that you want to consider is what is the total cost of your move? We broke down the cost of living changes, cost of getting your stuff there, and within that there's also a couple additional things, tape, boxes themselves.
Boxes are so expensive. We got really lucky and one of his friends was moving right before us, and so we just got all of their boxes. That was really helpful. So if you have any friends that you know are moving at the same time, see if you can piggyback off of their boxes.
Start collecting them early.
Yeah. Something else is that we had to figure out how to get ourselves there. So we figured out how to get our stuff there, and now it was time to get us there. Ryan and his dad drove the truck and did one of those, what are they called? The little trailers on the back? Is that what it's called? The trailer?
Yeah, a car trailer.
Yeah, so Ryan put my car on a car trailer, attached it to the Penske, and they went on their way. I didn't feel comfortable having Randall in a truck for 4 days, so I got out of it and I got to fly with Randall. Was it selfish of me to volunteer as that person? Maybe, but I flew with Randall, and I made sure to time it with when Ryan and his dad were getting into town.
I don't know if it was selfish. I don't think it was selfish. It was
I just
more
didn't
of,
go in the truck.
We got married like 2 days before, so I had to start right away with happy wife, happy life.
Fellas, take notes.
She's driving next time.
We're not moving. We're not going anywhere.
Yeah, perfect. So she's driving next time.
Yeah, I'll take it.
The thing that we forgot is that we actually have 2 cars, and I'm sure a lot of you guys have 2 cars too. And that's a really big hurdle to get through. We were blessed that my dad offered to make the drive out.
Thank you, Ray.
Yes, thank
we
you so
appreciate you.
So he made the drive out
twice.
Yeah, 2 weeks before our lease ended in Arizona, and he did just a turn and burn trip, absolutely crazy. Left on Friday morning, got there Saturday morning. If your dad's not willing to drive, then maybe ask a friend. And we had the opportunity to do this last summer, fly out and help some friends drive their cars back, and it was a great time, made for some great conversations, and
get some good snacks, a good playlist. It's really all you need. Some Red Bull, coffee.
you need a couple of those too.
Yeah.
So if any of you friends are planning to move out to Tennessee, give me a call. I'll jump in the car and drive with you.
Yeah, he'll do it. I can't see in the dark, so you don't want me.
Yeah, and I only got pulled over once on our drive, so.
I'm also a terrible singer.
But we'll do it. I volunteer.
Yeah. Now we are to the point that was the hardest part for me on our packing journey, is what to throw out and what to keep with you on the move. I attach my emotions to certain objects.
Some call that hoarding.
Some would call it like a sentimental value or something like that. But I had a really hard time figuring out what to throw out, especially in my closet. That is my biggest tip, is to go through your closet first, figure out what you're gonna donate, what you're gonna keep. And then when we were moving, it was right after our wedding, so we had a bunch of new things from our wedding registry that we're super thankful for. That gave us the opportunity to throw out basically our whole kitchen, which saved us a ton of boxes. So go through everything, make sure it's something that you do want to keep so that you're not moving it to your new place and then getting there and being like, I should have just thrown this out.
The sixth thing that you want to consider is that there's probably almost always going to be more expenses than you thought when you planned the trip.
They creep up.
Yeah, here's an interesting one that I probably wouldn't have thought about. What you did with your ketchup when you moved, you probably threw it away.
You probably threw everything in your
all
cabinets.
Of your condiments.
Everything in your fridge, your freezer, all gotta go.
Yep, and all gotta rebuild once you get there. So those creep up over time, and then you get this 36-inch curtain rod that you're trying to put on a 48-inch window, and it just doesn't work. Your window's longer, so you need longer curtains, and then all of a sudden you spent $250 to do one window.
Or carpet. If your last place was mainly carpet like ours was, we just moved into a place that is all hardwood, and we had to buy a rug, and rugs are not cheap. They are very nice looking, but they are very expensive.
Yeah, so the expenses just rack up. If there's one additional tip that I can kind of tack on there, is maybe build out a list and try to write down the things that you need to improve, that you want to improve, and chip away at the list over time.
And remember, home goods can wait. The seventh thing to consider is if your spouse is on board. So if you're like us, you are moving together with your significant other, and it's really important, obviously, to make sure that where you're wanting to move is where they're wanting to move. So when we were presented with the option to move, we kind of just like looked at each other. We're like, you wanna go? And Ryan was like, yeah, I'm already on Zillow. And I was like, okay, cool, we're going. So it was really easy for us, but we know that not everyone is on the same page. So make sure that you have that conversation with them early on, and make sure that it's something that you both want to do, and that you're moving to a place that you both want to go to.
Or you could just marry someone with the last name Page.
And then you're always on the same page. Ha! Good one.
The eighth thing you want to consider is, where do you want to live in your new town? The best way to go about it is to just research and write down your needs. So for us, we wanted to be really close to some of the stores that we loved, like Costco, F45, Sprouts,
Target, Starbucks.
Of course, yes.
The necessities, of course.
Yeah, the place that we spend the most money in a month.
Do you want to live in the city? Do you want to live in the suburbs? Do you want to live in an apartment, a condo, a house? We had never been to Tennessee before, so we knew that we wanted to be in an apartment that had a year-long lease so that we could get to know the area before we wanted to buy.
Yeah, that was one of the best tips that we got from a friend that had moved cross country as well. It takes you about 3 months to learn your bearing and start to learn where you are in town and where you want to be. So we wrote down the places that we wanted to be near, and then started just looking on the map of, is this here, or is there something near it here? And once we factored that in, we then considered work.
In Arizona, I was commuting 30 minutes each way, sometimes up to 45 with traffic, and I was over it. I just was sick of sitting in the car. So it was really important to me to be close to work, and I told Ryan that 15 minutes max.
I want to work from home, so it works perfectly.
So we found a really great neighborhood that when Ryan's working from home, he can go and take walks during the day, and I can have a short commute.
Final tips coming straight from Randall. The 10th thing that you want to consider is proximity to family. And this is the hardest one. It's the one that holds back most people, I would say. And it's one that I think I didn't really feel until the way back from our honeymoon. And we were sitting on the plane about to come into Nashville, and that was when it really sunk in. I was like, dang, I wish I could see like my dad. We used to go to lunch or go to California to visit my family, and it sunk in that I can't just drive 5 hours or go see him for lunch whenever, and it made me tear up a little bit and cry on the plane. I was like coming back from the honeymoon and just I don't want this to end. That's how I played it off. It was dark, thankfully.
A few years ago when I moved from New Jersey to Arizona, that was the one thing that out of everything I was the most nervous for, was telling my friends and family that I was moving. I had this automatic assumption that they would be mad at me and not like me anymore, and it was the total opposite. They were all super supportive. Obviously they were gonna miss me, but just remember, if you are moving and one of your biggest things holding you back is leaving your family, there's FaceTime, phone calls, texts. You can stay in contact with them. It's obviously really hard being physically away from your family, but it also gives your family an opportunity to visit you, visit a new place, or you can cherish your time at home even more.
It also goes back to the first tip of not thinking of it as permanent. That could be a good way to just, oh, I'm gonna try this for a year and see how it goes.
And if you are a family member or a friend of someone who is moving or is considering moving, just give them grace, go easy on them. It's not an easy decision for them to make. It's not personal. It's nothing against you. And try not to make their decision any harder.
And who knows, maybe your family will come and join you. They'll come visit and then they'll move out and join you. So
yeah.
That's my saving grace.
Yeah, and every phone call to our family, we're like, yeah, so when you move here...
I found your farm over here on this hill.
Yeah, we're always texting them pictures like, here's the house you're gonna live in. So, force them to move with you.
We hope this video was helpful and gave you confidence to make the move cross country or between states. And to all our friends and family out there, we can't wait to see you in Tennessee soon. We'll help you move.
Yep, just come on. It's fun over here. And if you have any tips of your own, we'd love to hear them in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and if this video was helpful, send it to someone who you know is making the move or considering making a move. Or if it's you, reach out to us. We'd love to talk.
Ta-ta.
Bye.